What up, y'all? I'm gonna tell you how I made $100,000 off a $5,000 investment in 3 years. And it was the very first house I ever bought. The sun is good and up. I'm drinking my cold coffee. The doggies are all happy. And when I left off yesterday, I was like, we're going to be coming in swinging. Strong offer, 150. They're going to counter with 157, 159. And they already countered, 157. And they said 159 is lowest. So we can't really counter again. I agreed to 157, but on our contract with our contingencies, so I still have a way out. It's Saturday. I'm probably going to go check out the surf comp. I'm going to write a check for the realtor to put into the escrow account, 5% of the sale price of the house. And I got to get that into his hands today to accompany the written offer. And that's about it. It's Saturday, and for those of y'all that watch the channel, I pretty much stick around the house on Saturdays. I might go buy a bird, though. I'm not sure. Are you dogs happy? They look happy. Reef, are you having a little doggy dream? Are you beating up Kaza for bolting in your little doggy dream? I hope you are. Hello, tired puppies. Choco dog is still sleeping. Oh, there's one of Sue's peacocks. There's both of them out. They're both fanning. Or one of them's fanning. One of them's just sitting there. And let me try to wake up Choco. Choco dog, heel. Come on, wake up. Good girl. Come on, I know. I don't even know if she likes to sleep in. I think she's just like, I've been letting her sleep on the human bed. And she's like, yeah, I don't want to give this up. Yeah. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do today for sure. There is a pretty big surf comp in Arecibo on the Marginal. I might go check that out. I'm probably going to go to Simple, but I'm not 100% sure yet. They tend to get pretty busy on Saturdays. And I might go buy a bird. When I say I might go buy a bird, I'm specifically looking for a couple of lovebirds. Real pretty, the green and like orange ones. So I might swing by the agro store and see what they have. But I don't think I'm going to put a lot of effort into like hunting down a new bird. Dogs just realized the peacocks are out. And they make those funny noises, and the dogs go kind of bonkers. Nope. The one peacock is heading up to the gate. He's probably going to jump on over it. The other peacock, they're kind of like cats. They know the dogs can't get to them, and they just kind of like tease the dogs. Choco, are you not going to go check out the peacock? Lazy. I just finished my first Spanish lesson of the day, and I heard from Christina. She said there was a big crowd earlier at the surf comp, but it looks like it might be over already. She thinks the surf comp might be over because they just opened the road back up. I'm not sure. They might have had it shut down so the vendors could drive in, unload, set up their trucks and stuff, or their tents. I don't know. I hope it's not over. I was planning on checking it out. Just got word on WhatsApp from the realtor, and we have a deal. We have that house under contract for $157,000, and it is going to convey with all the furnishings, all the appliances, everything. It's already on the Airbnb platform, and we were able to pull up, well, not pull up, it was provided to us by the seller, their occupancy, and it is right at about 75-80% occupancy, which is good. That means as soon as we close on it, as soon as we have the keys in our hands, we go in there, we clean a little bit, and then boom, it's on the market. It is going to start generating cash flow instantaneously. This is quite literally a cash deal that will provide instant money. It is turnkey, instant income, and I'm happy with that. So now we just got to keep our fingers crossed, make sure we don't find anything during our time of due diligence, and that's it. We're ready to rock and roll. Yeah. I am kind of getting, well, y'all can, I'm sure you can hear it, like a hoarseness in my throat. I'm kind of like getting sick again. I hope I'm not. So I just took my generic Mucinex, cold, sinus, flu, whatever stuff. And now I'm going to jump into leche. And I'm going to get some coffee. It's simple. You guys better stay back. Those peacocks will get you. Yes, they will. Look at all these good doggies. I will see you good doggies soon. Here's your daily dog army. I forgot the video coming over the hill. We've got a swell coming onto shore, but other than that, it looks pretty darn smooth. There's somebody fishing. It's looking nice out there. Well, this person's got everyone blocked in. There's a spot there, but I can't get to it. Let me drive into Arecibo, see if the surf comp's going on at all. I am anxious to see if the surf comp's going on. Somebody commented, asked if I liked Arecibo. How can you not? I mean, look at it. It's awesome. It's an actual city, and it's not completely like blown out with tourists. I mean, it's a real community. What's not to love? I mean, look at how gorgeous this is. We're gonna have to circle around to see what the surf comp's doing. There's a surf photographer set up, but I'm not seeing any surf comp activity. I forgot to brush my teeth leaving the house, and they're feeling furry. So I think I'm gonna go home and brush my teeth as soon as I'm done with breakfast. It feels disgusting. of beauty. I got some acerola for the vitamin C. Breakfast was good, as always. I was trying to stay away from the coffee because, according to Google, the same Google that says iguanas is bad for dogs, you should avoid coffee if you think you're coming down with a cold, which I think I might be just because I've got the hoarse throat. And now I am rolling up 681. I'm gonna go see if the agro store has any birds. Oh, the water is looking super pretty today. Kind of rough, no snorkeling to be had, but it's still gorgeous. No birdies at the agro store. I didn't even pull in. They keep them outside and I could see the cages and there was chicks, but no birdies. And there's a ton of people surfing today. It looks like there's at least about a dozen people out there in the lineup. One, two, three, four, five, six. I only saw 6 there. I couldn't see anybody else because the swell was coming up and they were on the outside. I saw 6 people on the inside. And now we're gonna swing down to Calle La Villa, head back to the homestead, and I am going to decide whether or not, well, I've gotta send over some documentation to the realtor to solidify this contract, and I'm not sure whether I'm gonna work today or if I'm gonna take it easy and be lazy because I don't want to get sick. Like last time I felt it coming on, I was able to avoid it, and that's what I'm gonna try to do this time, avoid it. All right, I'm gonna back around because they've got a digger up there working on something and I can't get out. So we are gonna head out. Oh, you can hear my throat. I'm glad I got that acerola. Then I'm gonna go home and kill a bottle of that emergency, a double shot of the emergency, which is like super vitamin C. Let's see, there's a lot of cars. Let's see if we can count any more surfers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there's more I couldn't see. A lot of cars. I am on Calle La Villa because I think I'm gonna go to Jason's little pet store downtown and see what kind of birdies he has. Deja vu. Here we go again, y'all. I haven't been in here in probably 2 years. It's a really cool little shop. They had lovebirds, but they were like 3 times as much as I've been seeing them. There's another agro store up here I'm gonna go check out. Let's see what kind of birdies they have. I'm gonna get some lovebirds.
Y dos verde y rosa y uno azul.
Ok, dos verdes y rosa y uno azul. Mira, está azul.
Yeah.
Los huesos abiertos, hembra, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Este es hembra.
That's a girl.
Okay. Can I do 2 females and a male, if possible?
Y los otros,
Dos hembras y un macho.
Okay.
esta hembra, dos hembras aquí. Ay, muerte duro. Es que muerte, ¿verdad?
Oh, muy bravo, eh?
Sí. Esta aquí.
Ok. Entonces, a la comida de los lovebirds.
And
Y lo tuyo son 4 campeones.
now I need some food.
Sí.
¿Qué le falta?
Ya te los dos parceros.
Mission complete. Now I have to go wrangle them into the cage. I'm really stoked. I've been wanting birds on the balcony for quite some time. Okay, the lovebirds were $45 each. I got 3 different colors, and that is $5 more than the very, very cheapest I could find them on Clasificados, Marketplace, and any other agro store. So it was worth it to me to spend $5 extra on a bird just to be so much closer to the house and not force them to take like an hour, hour and a half car ride. Now they're only going to deal with like maybe a 12 to 15 minute car ride. Oh, looks like they're gearing up at the Galera. That means, oh my goodness, they redid the bar too. It looks really good. I just noticed that passing. So since the Galera is going to be open tonight, that just might fill the void I have for not only dinner, but entertainment. Hi. I have some birdie friends. Now, I don't want to take the birds in the house as I change and whatnot and expose them to the cold AC, because supposedly they're pretty susceptible to like getting colds and pneumonia. So I'm gonna lock them in the closet outside just for a little while, and then I'm gonna change, set up the cage, and then come deal with the birds. I'm gonna get the food and water, everything set up first. I am gonna use probably 2 bowls for the water. Make sure they always have water on hand, and 1 bowl for the food. And there's the food. I've also got to line the bottom. I don't like the way that one lays down. Okay, that lays down a lot better. Okay, water's full. I'm gonna use this extra water for the plant. And I still need to water all these plants today. Now it's time to get the birdies. And I do think I'm gonna take them inside and take them out individually and put them through the little like feed door hole, because I'm scared they're gonna get loose. Now it's time for the birdies. Oh, I can feel one. Okay, oh, now I gotta get my hand out. You're a cute, non-biting birdie. I like that. Okay, here you go, bud. Oh, I know, don't worry. You're not gonna be lonely very long. Bruno's like, oh my goodness, what is it? Birdie number 2. You're a pretty non-bitey birdie too. One of them bit the guy that was catching them pretty hard. Hey, we are not going to have That's right. You got to smack on the butt. No. No, Bruno. Chill. Bruno, down. There you go. You stay down. Everyone's going to... Bruno! This guy is my favorite as far as the color. And I think he was the one that was biting. Yes, you're not biting me though, are you? Bruno just got popped on his butt. It usually takes one firm smack on his little dog butt. And then he goes, oh, I get it. I'm not supposed to be jumping up on the birdies. I'm really stoked with these guys. Okay, how y'all doing? Yeah? You're all very, very pretty. Yes, you are. Reef doesn't know what to think. Bruno's like, I will not jump up on that cage again, at all. What do you think of the birdies, Reef? Choco's like, I got a spanking. She's like, I'm gonna stay away from the birdies. Same thing with Bruno, which is very cool. Yes. You can come hang out, yeah. You can look at the birdies, but you are not allowed to jump up on that cage. Bruno, he's a very quick learner when it comes to stuff like that. He's like, I don't want the fat man to smack my butt again. The initial doggy excitement has worn off. Reef is still pretty curious. And I am about to go inside and finish up a contract for the cabinetry here. Finalize the details in the contract on that house, that Airbnb. And what else? I'm not sure what else I'm going to be doing today. I got to do laundry. I don't have a lot, but I have like 2 blankets. So I have at least 2 loads of laundry I have to do. I love the birds. I'm really, really excited. Reef is very calm, but she is definitely much more interested in the birdies than any of the other doggies. I just got everything sent over to our realtor. So that contract is locked in. I got to water some plants. And I wanted to touch base on, we are not buying this house as individuals. We are purchasing it through our LLC. And the reason we have an LLC is when we first started looking for properties and we first started putting offers in, quite frankly, a lot of people did not want to deal with gringos. Hold on, I gotta open the door. So I said, well, we can fix that. And formed an LLC here in Puerto Rico. And named it Contract Solutions. And that was done in Spanish, Contrato Soluciones. And next thing you know, people started taking us not only serious, but we were able to more or less hide the fact that we were gringos. Because like I said, a lot of people just don't want to deal with gringos. And we are purchasing this house through the corporation. Getting everything, that's probably going to take 2 buckets. This I got to let it soak in some. I am loving the little lovebirds. Let me know, YouTube, what is your favorite? The favorite color. Real Babes likes the blue and white one in the center. And I'm not sure whether I like the guy on the right, which is, I believe, a peach face lovebird, or the guy on the left. And they're still young. You can see the guy on the left. I think they're called black-crowned lovebirds. He's sort of like mottled, like blackish gray on top of his head. I'm pretty sure that is going to come in like a full, like black, like skull cap almost. I might be going back to the agro store to get a 4th bird, because the plan was to get 4 total. But I wanted to see which one Real Babes likes the most. She likes the blue, and I like the other colors. And I was just reviewing the video, and there's actually a 4th color. And I was doing a little bit of research, and it said introduce them all at once, especially if they're coming from the same group, because if not, apparently these guys can get really territorial and they can beat up and possibly even kill. I think Kaza sees an iguana. A bird, another lovebird, if they get established here and then you introduce another one. So it's best to do it as soon as possible, which is why I'm thinking about going back. Agro store is open till 5. I have to go to the Pueblo, which is right there, so I might as well get that 4th bird. Yesterday, when I was driving around the neighborhood with the house that we have under contract, that's kind of what you call farming a neighborhood. And when I farm a neighborhood, you're basically gathering as much information and other details as you possibly can. I drive around, I try to figure out how many stores are there, how many stores are in walking distance, how many restaurants, how many bars, whether or not people wave when you wave to them. I talk to people, I go, oh, hey, my name's so-and-so, I'm doing this, how long have you lived in the neighborhood? Do you like the neighborhood? What do you not like about the neighborhood? How do you feel about Airbnbs? How do you feel about rental properties and stuff like that? Because you don't want to go into a neighborhood and kick everyone off. And it also is a great way to develop leads on property. A lot of times somebody will say, hey, you know what? My aunt has this house back here and she's going to sell it, but she hasn't listed it or anything. You go, well, how much does she want? She goes, oh, whatever, and sometimes I get a lot of leads like that. I don't buy everything like that, but it generates a lot of leads. It also helps establish yourself in the neighborhood. So when you're driving around, slowing down, looking at, houses and whatnot, everyone's not like, oh, what's this shady person up to? They're like, oh, that's the gringo that just bought that house, They know who you are. It gives them a level of comfort and security. And you want that. I mean, you want to be part of the neighborhood. But yeah, it's generally called, farming a neighborhood. And lots of key details like how far is it from the beach to the house, stuff like that. Like, I don't know. It gives me something to do. I enjoy doing it. So I might swing back to that neighborhood tonight because I haven't been in there at night. According to Devin, he and his mom have gone to those bars at night and they're pretty hopping. It's Saturday, so I'd imagine they're pretty hopping tonight, but I think I might go check them out just to get a feel, to meet people, see what kind of food they have, see what the drink prices are, see if they have a pool table, just start spending a little bit more time there. I'd say the calf is back. The calf's not back. The calf is like taken up complete and total residence in the pasture. Does this mean we have a new pet? I don't know. But yeah, like the calf's been there about maybe a week, maybe a little bit more than a week at this point. I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier or not, so I'm gonna mention it now. The channel is going to, as I do investing, the channel is going to start including a lot more, almost like a tutorial on real estate investing and basically just buying. Everyone needs to buy a house. Everyone needs to buy a house. That's your retirement. It's once you get locked in with that mortgage payment, as a rent all the way around, you continues to just climb and climb and climb and go through the roof. You're not going to, okay? You can look 30 years down the road and say, I'm gonna be paying the same amount of money. It allows you to do financial planning. It allows you to plan for the future. It allows you to say, okay, well, I'm gonna need X amount of dollars to live on. Now, unfortunately, taxes do go up, but taxes compared to what you're saving in rent is nothing. So there's so many different pros as to why you should buy real estate. And I'm gonna try to include as much information on buying real estate, investing in real estate, maintaining real estate, managing real estate, as I possibly can. But I'm still gonna keep this channel kind of like a vlog. It started off as like iguana hunting, snorkeling, spearfishing, running dogs on hogs and pig hunting in the swamp and whatnot. And then it just like kind of turned into a vlog. And I'm cool with that, you know? So I'll give you all as much real estate advice as I possibly can. But you also have to deal with me doing things like laundry and buying birds. Hi, doggies. I'm gonna start a load of laundry before I go. And I've got my bird box to bring back to the agro store so they don't have to use a new one. I figure I can just use the one I already used. I also want to get the birds some more perches so they have places to, they only have the one and they're constantly on it because they don't have anywhere else to like stand and hang out. And I'm going to get that stuff at the agro store because yeah, I can get it at Walmart, but I'd rather support a small local store. I mean, Walmart's terrible. They really are. Even though that's where most of my like canned goods and stuff come from. But I have been making the conscious effort to go to Pueblo a little bit more. Sorry, Chaco. This is a no doggy trip. I am also going to do everything I can to help y'all learn the different vernacular and terms and everything else involved with real estate, as well as the different types of existing financing, pre-existing financing, stuff like that. It's a huge asset and it's a huge tool. Once I had pretty much the correct vernacular and vocabulary down, I would start calling on listings, and the agent they'd never pick up. They'd always return my call though. And I'd start asking them questions and they'd cut me off within the first like couple of minutes and they'd go, "Excuse me, are you an agent?" I go, No, I'm an investor." They go, "Okay." I'd talk a little bit more and they'd go, "Hold on, are you a real estate broker?" And I'd say, no, I am a real estate investor. Even though at that point in time, I didn't own a house. I didn't own a house. The very first house I eventually ended up buying was quite literally the only house I could afford. And it was in what turned out to be such an incredible neighborhood. Lived there for 20-something years. But the house was $38,500. I bought it through HUD, which is Housing Urban Development. It cost me, because I was eligible for FHA because it was my first home. It cost me $5,000 out of pocket, which was quite literally all the money I had in the world, or well, pretty darn close to it. And that covered my down payment, closing cost, and the attorney's fees, title search and all that. And I remember getting into that house and I was so freaked out. I mean, I was driving a $1,200 truck at the time. No, I wasn't. I was driving a $300 Volkswagen bus. Oh, imagine trying to find a $300 Volkswagen bus these days. At the time, and I remember just being gripped with fear and anxiety because I had just committed to almost $40,000 and I was so scared. But I'll tell you what, I ended up selling that house 3 years later, and I put a lot of sweat equity into it. I couldn't afford new windows, so I went with a hammer and a chisel and I chipped all the, oh wait, here, they're doing a little bit of rodeoing. That's team roping right there. Coming around, oh. They got him on the horns. Other guy missed the hind feet. So I put a lot of sweat equity into that house. Like the windows I couldn't afford. So with a hammer and chisel, I chipped out all the rot, packed it full of Bondo like you would on a car body, sanded it nice and clean, painted it, it was a small house, it was 700 square foot. I put a new roof on myself. I had a little bit of help with some friends. And then 3 years later, I sold that house. I sold that house for $129,900. That means when I walked away from the closing table, I quite literally made almost 100K. I made $99,900. And it was really pretty weird because I knew like what I was going to be walking away from the closing table with. And it wasn't really real or tangible, I guess, until I saw that check. I came out of the closing, the check made out from the escrow account to me was paper clipped to the outside of my closing like legal folder packet. I set it down on the bench seat of my V-Dub next to me, and I went to back out. I put it in reverse, and I turned and I looked over my shoulder, and as I did, I looked down and I caught that check on the bench seat. And it was a check, like I said, for $99,900, and it was made out to me. And it had my name on it. I mean, that's when everything hit. I was like, oh my goodness. Like, holy smokes. And what I did with that money was I took $60,000 of it. And I used that as a down payment on another house that I bought, a much, much bigger house. And I lived in that house for a little over 15 years, I think. The remaining money, I took 37 and I put that in savings account. Just, that's it, pretended it wasn't even there. I kept about $3,000 out, and I used that for materials, paint, stuff like that. And I repainted the new house and did some touch-up work. Here, we're coming over the hill right now, y'all. Oh, it got real choppy today. Super choppy. It's still gorgeous. It's still absolutely gorgeous. So then I put that $37,000 away, and I just pretended it didn't even exist. I never looked at it. I didn't touch it. I didn't do anything with it. And then, I'm trying to do some math. Between 4 and 5 years later, got to show you all the ocean as I come by. A bar that was in my little neighborhood went belly up, and that building became available. And I secured the lease on that building, and I used the remaining money to buy equipment, buy inventory, buy furnishings, paint, and I completely redid the building, and I opened up a bar. And I still own that bar to this day. I opened that bar in 2007. July 27th, 2007 is when I opened up. I know I am rambling and I'm like all over the place. Like I'll start telling y'all something and I'll drift on to something entirely different. I guess that's just part of my super ADD. So if y'all have any questions concerning the real estate, go ahead and just put it in a comment, and I'll reply to the comment, and then I will try to touch base on that comment in the next video. And what I'm going to try to do is make a real estate investing video every day, or like kind of every day, until we actually close on that house and start getting some money coming in from it. So that way y'all are like boots on the ground with me, and y'all can go through the whole process. The closing at the lawyer's office, the title search, all of that stuff. Insurance, taxes, like everything. So yeah, if you have any like questions, go ahead, fire them away. I'm gonna do everything I can to help y'all. I forgot the bird box. That sucks. El Nuevo Guayaba is super busy today. They must have some settee in. The Colombian arepa spot is popping today. They have been so incredibly busy. And I actually want to take a little minute to say thank you. Thank you to everyone that threw their colonizer gringo hate towards me. Because if it weren't for you, I would quite literally be happy as a clam, sitting at home on my fat gringo butt, eating bacalaitos, playing with the dogs, and killing iguanas. And now, I just, thank you. That was, I guess, motivating, because I'm back in the game. This is what I do. And I'm 52, I'm too early to retire. This has got me moving and happy, and even though I'm starting to get sick, I can feel it in my throat, and I'm sure y'all can hear it. Like, I'm motivated, I'm moving. I love this. I absolutely love real estate investing. Everything's starting to pick up and get a little busy on 681 today. I love it. I have always been, I mean, y'all can tell, other than some fancy air guns, I don't really buy fancy crap. I wear pretty much the exact same clothes or type of clothes every day. My shirts, these sun shirts I get off Temu. My board shorts I get on clearance for like $4 to $8 from Walmart, or I get them off Amazon for 12 bucks. My flip-flops are 50 bucks. They have high arch support, and I just consider that like kind of a necessity. But I mean, you can see what I drive. I mean, I drive clunkers. I'm not a fancy schmancy type of person. What gets me excited is the security, the safety. I know that if I get sick, like bad sick, like gonna die type stuff, if Real Babes gets sick, like bad sick, like I can be there for her. I don't have to worry about like, oh, I gotta go to work, I can't do this, I can't be here with you. Like that, being able to provide that for my wife is such a safe, secure feeling. It gives me a lot of peace of mind. It takes so much worry out of my life. And I just, it means a lot to me to be able to give that to my wife, to make sure that if everything comes crumbling down, I will be able to be there for her, and I will be able to still provide her financial security and stability. It means the absolute world to me. That's why I'm in this game. I'm not in this game because I want a brand new $120,000 truck. You know, I mean, it's just, that's not what does it for me. I'm gonna touch base on how important it is to live below your means, beneath your means. And I'm gonna use two examples. And these are people that I know individually, personally. One person was pulling home 220 take home, actual take home, 220 to 250K annually, which is way more than I'm making. He just filed bankruptcy, quite literally, just filed bankruptcy. He's losing everything because he fell prey to the keeping up with the Joneses. I think he ended up defaulting on like 30 something credit cards, just crazy stuff. Pueblo is looking busy. I see a spot. Hopefully it's still there by the time I get in there. And once I park, I'll touch base on the other example. The other person I know makes good money. I don't know how much. And they have all the toys, or had all the toys. Multiple boats, multiple motorcycles, multiple four-wheelers, quads, side-by-sides, but everything was financed. And in order to keep up with that, they had to work around the clock, and then on the weekend they had to work like tremendous hours just to keep up with the payments on those. And to give you an example, bought a brand new, really big, fancy boat, and wanted some pictures of the boat in pretty water. So spent one day driving from South Carolina down to the Florida Keys, one day in the Florida Keys, and then one day driving back because couldn't afford to take off work more than 4 or 3 days. And that, sure, you got lots of toys, but where's your quality of life? You can't even take off work to enjoy the toys that you get to use, but the bank owns. So, you know, it's life is all about choices. It's all about priorities. It's what do you want out of life? Personally, I want freedom. I don't want to have to wake up and be like, where's my food going to come from? I've been there. I've been there a lot. Like, I've woke up many mornings going, dang, am I going to eat today? And I don't ever want to experience, I don't want anyone to ever experience that. But I don't ever want to experience it again. Looks a little busy. Just grabbed some romaine. I think I'm going to do a Caesar salad tonight. I really enjoyed that Philly cheese type wrap thing. So I'm going to get some bigger tortillas. I guess I probably should have looked at my grocery list before I came in here, because I brought enough bags with me to outfit a small Ethiopian village for like several years. Okay, I got my cold medicine. I'm gonna see what they have as far as bird treats and stuff as well while I'm here, and maybe some dog toys. I've decided I'm gonna do like a real Philly cheese. So I got some different cheese. I need Velveeta, because actually that's what goes on a real Philly. And I need to get some peppers. Got the whiz. I haven't had a real Philly in a while. Now dessert is taken care of. I think first generation Monteros are the sexiest, but the second generation are a pretty close second. And now I am off to the agro store to get a perch, a bird house, like a little nesting box type thing, and possibly another bird, because the plan was to have 4 lovebirds total. And if I'm gonna do it, I have to do it now, because like I said, according to Google, they'll go into like this crazy psycho territorial thing and like kill another one if I put it in there. So I got to do it now. I almost drove right past it. There are definitely other colored ones. There's a yellow. There's this like bluish green one.
Este sí, el blanco.
No, no es de la cara blanca. Ese.
Sí, sí. Sí, qué bueno.
Voy a cogerlo bien porque me pincha. Ah, es jovencito ese.
Es muy rápido.
Sí.
Now I'm looking at bird toys. I got two. In a moment of panic, I realized there was a fifth color, and if I want it, I have to do it now, so I did it. I am now scared to death when I go to put the perches and the little like bell chewy toy thing in. The birds are going to escape. So I'm gonna leave these ones in the box until I get the perch and everything set up. I'm even thinking about using a sheet to like cover the cage and then me get under the sheet. So if they fly out, it lessens the chance of losing them. I don't know, we're gonna see what happens, y'all. It's probably gonna be fairly eventful. Oh, and I grabbed myself a Malta when I was in there. Boy, is that good. I got some in the can, the small little cans at the house, but it tastes different. Just like, you know, fountain Coke tastes different than bottled Coke, and McDonald's Coke tastes different than everything else. Malta in the bottle, and I don't care what brand it is. I know some people have their preferences. As long as it's in a bottle, I'm good. The Guyana has quite the crowd tonight, and I'm still debating on doing dinner and entertainment at the Guyana. And for those of y'all that are new to the channel, Guyana is basically the arena, coliseum, where they hold the cockfights, and they've got a little bar inside, a little restaurant. They got really good sorrelitos, they got good carnitas. Yeah, I don't know. I like the fried chicken. Pretty much everything I like at the Guyana is chicken based. I don't know, I don't want to put too much thought into that. And now I'm hitting the 681 traffic. I was so stoked because we didn't have any traffic today for some reason. I got everything I need for like a real deal bussin' Philly cheese steak. But I didn't get French fries, which I have some tostones. I got some frozen tostones in the freezer. I was gonna go out to Plaza Soto and get some French fries, but I think I'm just gonna do the tostones. And that ought to set it off real good. The arepa place is just killing it, raking it in. And as I mentioned, I have tostones at the house. They're frozen, and I've had okay luck with them. I mean, it doesn't taste like the real thing, you know, but it's a pretty close, like, at home out of a bag of frozen ones in the air fryer. So I might do that. I might brush them with a little olive oil or something this time. Dust them with a little garlic. Try to like dress them up some maybe. It doesn't really look like we might get some rain, but it kind of feels like we might get a little rain. Horsey, horsey, horsies. I don't think I'm going back out tonight. As much as the Galera is calling my name, I'm gonna go eat a bunch of fried food, watch some chickens brawl, drink a bunch of sugary sodas. I like the OK Champagne Cola. That's like my beverage of choice at the Galera. I think I'm gonna stay home and eat some cheesesteaks. Wow, it got big today. A lot bigger than it was this morning, which is usually what happens. Even though I got the Cheese Whiz, and as much as I'm saying, oh, I'm gonna have the real deal Philly, I'm not, because I'm using ground beef and not shaved steak. Horsey, horsey, horsey. So, it's gonna be close. Well, no, it's not. It'll taste good though. The bottled Malta definitely tastes so different because, like I said, I have those little mini cans at the house, and the past like 3 or 4 that I've cracked open, I haven't finished, like, at all. They're still rodeoing today. It looks more like a practice day than an actual event. And once I get home and get the birdies situated, before I cook, after I cook, I'm gonna touch base on credit, because credit is incredibly important when it comes to buying a house, especially financing a house. But credit isn't the only thing, because you can, I have all kinds of friends that have incredibly good credit, but they can't get a bank to loan them money on a house to save their life. And that is because they have so many depreciating assets. Like, if there's so much as a hiccup, the banks are coming after them for all their toys and whatnot. And you have to have, you have to have a good, what the bank calls a good debt to income ratio. And like, you can have a pretty good debt to income ratio, but if it's all depreciating liabilities, cars, boats, stuff like that, the bank's not going to give you the time of day. Now, if you have a bunch of appreciating assets like real estate, believe it or not, the bank is, they want to loan you money. They want that loan. And for those of y'all that track your credit rating, like I do and Real Babes does, for the longest time I thought, like, because at the scale it was like, you know, 300 up to 800, I thought like 800 was like it. No, that's not the case. Once you hit 800, it just goes up. Last I checked, my credit score was an 802. Real Babes had 809. And I'm not sure what it is now. We haven't talked about it. I don't even know when she checked last. But one of the huge advantages we have as far as getting a loan from the bank to finance real estate is we don't have any debt. The only loans we have are mortgages for real estate. That's it. Well, actually, Real Babes has a Highlander in South Carolina that she financed that I think she's thinking about getting rid of it because she doesn't want that depreciating liability inhibiting her ability to mortgage and finance property. I got my groceries, I got my birds, I got my bird goodies, and now we're gonna go deal with all this. The birds in the box are getting happy. They can hear the birdies outside. Hi, and I'm gonna try to put the perch in first. The first perch went in without a problem. Hi. The perch I got for the corner, I think I'm going to have to cut a notch going the other way, because on one side of the cage the bars are vertical and they're horizontal on the other. I got the little jingle jangle thing because our birds in South Carolina really like their little jingle jangle thing. Oh, the jingle jangler is almost installed. Gotta tighten it. Okay, there is the jingle jangler. I'm gonna introduce the birdies, and then I'm gonna swap some laundry. Hello. You're very pretty. He's happy to see everyone. Everyone's like reunited. Can you hear everyone out there? Don't worry, you'll be there in 1 second. Okay. Everyone's in. Everyone's calm. And I didn't get them a nest box because I was talking to the dude and it was huge. It was like maybe a fifth the size of this. And I was like, oh no, I wanted a small one. He's like, yeah, dude, that won't work. I was like, oh, okay. Well, hi, Pee-Pee. I think, well, everyone was scared of the jingle jangle thing at first, but now they're getting closer. They're curious, and hopefully they'll play with it. You kind of look like a little Quaker, Squeaky Bud. Yes, you do. They're hearing other birds. They're getting excited. I am gonna swap that laundry around, and then I might start making myself a Philly cheese. There goes my onion. Putting a lot of pepper in. I put a tiny bit of butter in there so it doesn't burn. Give it some lubrication, if you will. And I've got it on low heat, and I'm just gonna let it sit there for a while and get everything nice and soft and yum. I've got the tostones sitting in some salt water because I actually read the instructions, and that's what it says to do, and that's something I did not do last time. Ooh, the cheesesteak meat is pretty much done. Choco! Choco! No! Bruno! No! No horse barking! Heel! Hi, I know, you're a good girl. Choco, heel! Good girl. Bruno, you too. You leave the horses alone. When the dogs bark, the birds squeak and chatter. And I wanted 4, okay? I got 3. And then I panicked. And I impulsively got 2 more. Because you have to introduce them all at the same time with lovebirds, I guess. Or there's gonna be major problems. There's a horsey right there. Don't know where he's going. That's a newer looking one. I haven't seen him around in a while. So now I have 5 birds. And even though I wanted 4, 3 I think was perfect. I think 5's too much. Hey, Bruno. We all know. Andre was where he shouldn't be. How did you get back there, and how did you end up getting stuck? Hello. Yeah, like I said, 3 was good, even though I wanted 4. 5's too much, and the one thing I've noticed, not so much right now, but when they first came in, the 2 new ones were like all huddled and buddied up, and one of the first 3 kept biting the other one. Yeah, one of the new ones. So, I'm gonna see how they do. Oh, it is cheesesteak time. Here is my cheesesteak and tostones. I might whip up some mayo ketchup to go with that. Definitely gonna get lots of paper towels. Wow. These sunsets are amazing, even with all the cloud cover. At the beginning of this video, I was like, you know, hey, I made $100,000 off a $5,000 investment in 3 years. And I actually made more money if you take in the cost of living. I was paying $800 in rent for a 2-bedroom, almost the exact same house. And then when I got that mortgage, I went from paying $800 in rent to, I still remember it, $232.85 every single month. I mean, that's a tremendous, $561.50 savings every single month. So, yeah, if you don't own a house, buy a house. Just get one, get one, get one. Poor Reef wants attention. And Bruno is now, went from the shyest dog to the friendliest dog that just won't stop putting his mouth on people. We don't do that, dude. Yes. Reef's like, I just wanted attention. Hey, Bruno. There you go. You can put your mouth on other dogs all you want, dude. Hi, hombre. Are you warming up a little? The power is out, the Lumigrid. We're running on solar, we're running on our battery right now. And it's starting to cool down, which is nice. And I gotta feed the doggies. But I think I'm gonna wrap this video up. It's almost like an hour long already. And I'm still kind of running a cold. I think I'm gonna eat my cheesesteak, drink an emergency thing, hit some NyQuil, and I'm gonna go out like a light. Love y'all, and I will see y'all tomorrow when I wake up, turn the GoPro on, and figure out if I'm gonna keep 5 birds. 3 was really cool. See y'all tomorrow.